Hey everyone, welcome back to PowerUp. It's Ganesh here, and today I want to share a story with you. Something that happened about, say, 8 to 10 years ago when I was running my own company in the IoT space. The IoT industry was really heating up back then. We were all very excited, me and a bunch of my friends, who are still very dear to me today, about the possibilities of connecting everyday devices to the internet and creating smarter environments. We had amazing ideas. We had a great deal of passion. We were probably maybe even a little overzealous about building the most advanced products that we could imagine. We were developing this intuitive, innovative home automation solutions packed with features, customizable settings, and back in that time was also cutting edge technology. We thought we had it all figured out, but despite our best efforts, things weren't going as smoothly as we had hoped. And all of us built these solutions as engineers. None of us really came from a business background. And this entire journey taught us a lot. One of the things that we understood after we built the solution was we had hoped that the user adoption would be a lot more faster and accelerated. However, the user adoption was slower than expected, and the feedback was all over the place. There were a lot of other things that also went along with it in terms of our distribution channels, distribution strategies with the builders, interior designers, and architects was also a little all over the place. One evening, feeling a little frustrated, I went into the most famous bookstore in Bangalore called Blossom on South Street. And I stumbled upon this book called The Lean Startup by Eric Ries. I'd heard some buzz about it, so I decided to give it a flip through. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't agree with everything in it. Some concepts didn't resonate with me and our business model, but there was one idea that really struck a chord. That was the concept of iterating based on learning. This was the notion of building, measuring, learning, and then repeating that cycle. It got me thinking about how we were developing our products and whether we were truly aligning with what our customers wanted. So today, I thought I'd share how that a concept influenced our approach and perhaps offer some insights that might help you in your own journey. Back at the office, me and my friends gathered for an impromptu meeting. I remember discussing about this book with them and the idea of releasing something called as minimal viable product. And back then for us, all of these were new because we were fresh off. I think we were probably 2-3 years into our professional careers, and then all of us wanted to jump in and start a business of our own. I remember one of them asking, "You mean release a product that's potentially incomplete?" I said, yeah, well, not incomplete, more like focused on the core features, just enough to solve the main problem for our customers and get their feedback. We debated the idea for a while. As engineers and creators, we took pride in our work and wanted everything to be perfect before it reached our customer. But eventually, curiosity and the need for a fresh approach won out. And to be honest, we were quite desperate as well. We stripped down our home automation system to its absolute essential features, which was remote lighting control via a simple application. No complex scheduling, no integration with any other devices, but simply the ability to turn on and off remotely. It felt risky, almost like we were exposing ourselves, but we released this MVP to a small group of beta users and waited anxiously for their reactions. The feedback started rolling in, and it was enlightening. I remember some of them appreciated the simplicity. They found the basic features useful, and more importantly, they started suggesting what they'd see next. I remember we even put this up in one of my mentors' home, and he was absolutely happy and delighted to start working on this and testing this. I remember some of them wanted the ability to dim the lighting, and others were interested in scheduling lights for security purposes when they were away. We were no longer guessing what customer wanted. They actually were telling us. Now, embracing this iterative approach was a game changer for us. We began the cycle. We implemented one feature, released it, gathered feedback, and then moved on to the next. It wasn't as smooth as what I'm telling you, but each iteration was informed by real user input and not just our assumptions. Like I said again, not everything was smooth sailing. There were challenges. For one, in some sense, we had to shift our company culture. We had to become comfortable with the idea of good enough for now rather than perfect later. That wasn't easy for a team of perfectionists. Also, not all feedback was actionable or aligned to our vision. We had to learn to filter suggestions and prioritize what would bring the most value to the majority of our users. For example, one of them wanted the ability for us to control their shutters or blinds of the gate. We didn't really want to take that up at that point in time. So these were some of the learnings that we also had and figured out how to go out and prioritize things for us. In doing all this, the benefits far outweighed the challenges. Our development cycles became shorter and more efficient. User engagement increased. We started building a small community around our products. Customers felt heard, valued in some sense, which fostered loyalty. And that did help us as we went ahead in our own journey of being entrepreneurs. And here's the thing, I still didn't agree with everything in the lean startup. Some of the principles didn't fit our specific context, but that didn't matter. What mattered to us was that we took the core idea of learning through iteration and made it work for us. And I'm too small a person to even say, a book written by Eric Ries did not fit our context, but the fact of the matter was it didn't fit our context. And we had to take what really fit best to that scenario and go ahead with delivering our overall journey and product features and having that realized in the market. What it did was it taught me that you don't have to adopt a methodology wholesale for it to be valuable. You can take paths that resonate, adapt them, and leave the rest. So here's what I ask you. What can you take away from the story? First, consider the value of releasing an MVP. And over time, I've learned MVP is not something which is a minimal viable product. For me, it is what is a minimal valuable product. It doesn't mean lowering your standards or delivering a subpar product. It means focusing on the absolute essential and the value that you want to provide to your customers and then building it from there. Second, actively seek out customer feedback and be prepared to act on it. This dialogue can reveal real insights you might have never covered or uncovered on your own. Third, be willing to adjust your course. Flexibility can be a significant advantage in a rapidly changing market. And finally, don't be afraid to question the traditional approaches. Just because something has been done in a certain way doesn't mean it's the best way for you. I've also realized that innovation often comes from challenging status quo and exploring new methodologies, even if you don't agree with every single aspect. And I must say, I've learned this a great deal from both my colleagues or partners who were with me at that time in running this company. Looking back, embracing the concept of iterative learning, it didn't just improve our product, it transformed our entire approach to business. It encouraged a culture of collaboration, both within our team and with our customers. And even though that was 10 years ago, the lessons we learned are still very relevant. Today, I believe they're more important than ever in our fast-paced, technology-driven world. I just want to sum this up by saying I really want to encourage all of you to think about how you might apply iterative learning in your own work. Is there a project where you can perhaps release an MVP to gather early feedback? Are there any assumptions that you made that could be tested with real users? Remember, you don't have to agree with every aspect of a methodology to find value in it. Take what's useful, adapt it to your context, and see where it leads you. Thank you for joining me on this trip down my memory lane, a real personal one for me. I hope my experience sparks some ideas for you. If you've enjoyed this episode of PowerUp, please consider subscribing it, sharing it with a friend, or leaving a comment. Your support means a lot to me. And as always, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Have you tried incorporating iterative learning into your projects? What challenges or successes have you encountered? Feel free to reach out to me. I enjoy connecting with fellow innovators. Until next time, keep exploring, stay open to new ideas, and let's continue to power up our strategies together. Take care. Thank you.